Hello, and welcome to Dardingli's Interviews, a space created by professionals for professionals of the real estate industry. Interviews will be available on Spotify and YouTube on the 1st and 15th of every month. Tune in to stay updated with the latest in real estate trends.
Hello, and welcome to Dardingli's Interviews. Today, we have Irene Gómez, founder and CEO of INFOVA. Hi, Irene, how are you?
Hi, Jorge, how are you? Thanks for inviting me to this interview.
Thank you very much for being with us. As you might know, Irene, apart from being CEO and founder of INFOVA, is an expert and a leader in formation for professional in leadership and team management. And today we want to have her, as with the new problems arising from COVID for the professional real estate agents, leadership, motivation, and team management is the more important tool. And if I'm correct, Irene, there in INFOVA, you're experts in how to deal with these issues.
Yes, we've been working for 24 years here in Spain with the biggest companies all around the market, trying to help them to find their own tools for leadership and all the soft skills as motivation, communication, how to manage conflicts, all this kind of stuff. And we've been training around, I think, 10,000 people in these 24 years.
So in those 24 years, and furthermore, right now, with everything that we have seen about COVID destroying the traditional structure of how business worked, have you had any contact with professionals of the real estate, but not only real estate, professionals of the selling world, professionals that might have seen currently their livelihood affected by this pandemic and this new change on how the work, the labor and the office work? Did you have to deal more with this kind of people?
Yes, of course. We work with some real estate companies here in Spain, like JLL and Via Celere. I don't know if you know that company. It's a very big company here. Definitely. They are promoters, not only sellers. And well, all the sales people, as all the rest of workers in the world, had to make a real change of mindset. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the most attractive skill of a person, if you are looking for a job now, is flexibility and learning ability, because we have to change our mindset just one day to another. We had no time to change our mind and to adapt to the new situation. We just had to change until from the first day the world had changed. So all we knew was now it's no longer a reality. So we had to see things and see things in a different way, and just we have to realize that change is the new normality. So we have to be aware of change and to embrace change. And if you are not a change people, you have to find your own skills, your own tools to start changing, and there are some ways you can do it by your own. You don't have to wait until the things, your environment change to start changing your mind. You can do some things like you can have tricks like changing the way you go to your work. changing the way you do things in the morning. If you are used to first have breakfast and then have a shower, change the way you do things, because changing is one of the skills you will have to develop in these new days.
Yeah, and you spoke now about going up in the morning, changing the way you start working in the morning, and that comes with something that I don't know if you saw it in your company or in your environment, that it's hard now to get motivated to go to work. Before, we weren't to the office, we had a coffee with our colleagues, we were there in our table, in our chair, doing our work. Suddenly that disappeared, and suddenly now to find that motivation is sometimes it's very hard. Furthermore, with that situation as we were suffering. So you, as formation leaders, how do you manage that motivation? Do you work for people to get motivated?
Well, let's start from the beginning, because I want everybody to realize that people are change resistant. It's biological adaptative. If an alive thing knows that in this kind of environment we can survive, I don't know if you change my environment, if I change things, if I will survive also. So the resistance to the change is inherent to any alive being. So we are resistant by nature. So when everything started with all the pandemic, and we had to be at home, and we were not going to the office, we were resistant with all the technology, and to be at home, and all these thoughts in your mind that we should be in the office, this shouldn't be happening. We resist to the change. And now that things are changing again, and we are supposed to go again to the office, then we said we want to stay at home. I don't want to change the way I'm working now. So, and it's normal, it's part of our life. We have to know that our tendency is going to be to keep the way we work, or to keep the way we are. But change is the new normality, as I said before, and we have to train our changing skills. So if we don't have these change skills, and we don't adapt ourselves to the new situation, it's going to be very difficult to be motivated. I'm going to say something that maybe it's going to be a little weird. Let me say that nobody motivates nobody. You can't motivate anyone if they don't want to be motivated. In psychology, motivation is one of the subjects that we've been. Well, I'm not a psychologist. Sorry, I'm a law person. Well, I studied law, but I'm a very psychologist fan. I love all the psychologist things, and now I'm studying psychology in the Open University here in Spain. And one of the things we study in management and in psychology is that motivation is one of the things that worried all the managers around the world in every moment of the story of the management. And some people thought that motivation comes from your genetic. So if you are not motivated, if your energy is low, it's because of your genetics. So you don't have, you can have to do anything. There's another group of people who thinks that, well, your genetics influence you, but what determines you is your history. If your vital history it's full of sad sadness and full of incidents and dramatic items, you can't motivate yourself. And some people think that it's not your genetic or your history, but your circumstances. And there's a fourth way of thinking that's the one we really believe in, that of course your genetic it's going to influence your history or your
behavior
or your circumstances, but what influence more, what determines more, it's what you choose in any moment. So that's why nobody can motivate you if you don't want to be motivated. And for the managers, I want to take them off this responsibility, because sometimes I have managers, I have coaches who tells me I'm doing anything for my team to be motivated. I follow all the steps, but I have no results. And sometimes if you are doing all your part, you have to think that you have to do what you have to do, but they have to do what they have to do. So if they don't find the reasons, if they don't have a purpose, if they don't have the reason why to be motivated, you can help them creating the environment, creating the circumstances for them to choose their own motivation. But if they don't want to be motivated, you don't have this. There's a kind of line where you can't do anything. So we are with this basic idea where we have personally we have to choose to be motivated, not because of my boss, not because of my company, because of is my best option. Because I want to ask you, Jorge, or the people who are listening to us, when in your life low motivation had given you more benefits than a high motivation level? Has anyone everywhere or in your life have you had more benefits being in a low level motivation than in a high level motivation? So if you hadn't and you want the best for you, what gives you best results, why don't you choose more times to be motivated? And to be motivated is just to have reasons to choose being in a high energy, in the mood, in the attitude that brings you more benefits.
Actually, if we think about that, we can see, for example, as our listeners are mostly real estate agent experts, one of the things they have noticed is that sales are down, rents are down, business is down. So in that regard, being motivated, super hard. But furthermore, how does a person that manage a team of people motivates them? How can one develop that sort of leadership strength to be the motivator of a team when crisis? And furthermore, when we are not in contact, when we have to have social distancing, and when our office is spread all around because we cannot join together.
Remember, we don't motivate anyone. We create the conditions, okay? Because we are not the owners or the responsible of any one motivation. So the question is, how can I create the conditions where the others would find easier to motivate themselves? That's the question. So first of all, I want you to ask yourself, are you a role model for motivation? Because our teams look at us as if we were in a mirror. Just let's do a sample. If I tell you, Jorge, put your hands in your head. Please do it.
I do.
Put your hands in your shoulders. Put your hands in your nose. Put your hands in your shoulders.
Ah. Conditioning.
People have the tendency to do not what you told them to do, but to do what they see you to do.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
we learn by imitation. We do what our role models do. And there's a lot of campaigns in publicity here in Spain, I think all around the world, that people do what they see, not what you tell them to do. So first of all, look at yourself with honesty and think from 1 to 10 how motivated you look, how motivate, how you say, how's your experience of motivation? Because I remember one manager telling me, oh, Irene, I don't know how to motivate my team. Every morning I go to the office or I open my Teams and I go, come on, team, let's be motivated. And I was so aware, if you don't transmit energy, if you don't transmit motivation, they are not going to be motivated. So first of all, look at yourself and see if you are the change, as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. If you are the kind of motivator or motivated person you want to see in them, that's the first.
Yeah, you need to be the mirror people reflect in.
Yeah, we are the mirror where they reflect. So that's the key point. The other point I want the other point I want to tell you is communication. Communication. In the presential world, communication is the tool we have to help our people to find their motivation. It's the way we build trust in them, because trustness is one of our most important skills. If our people, if our team don't trust me, don't trust us, don't trust the team, don't trust the company, they are not going to find reasons to be motivated. They need to trust. They need to trust in the energy of the team, in the skills they have. They have to trust that you are going to support them all the time and you are going to cover them. So you have to find a way to make the trustness live in your team. For me, trust is kind of the lubricant, like the oil that makes the mechanism work perfectly. If you don't have trust in your team, the communication is not going to work. Delegation is not going to work. Feedback is not going to work. So try to find out in your team how's the trust level, and if it's not working, look at what do you need to change to build trust in the team.
What's
and
missing?
If you don't know how to motivate people, ask them how do you want to be lead? How do you want how do you want our communication? How many times during the week you want me to have a meeting? Or ask all the time, because sometimes managers think that we know what our team needs or what our team wants. We suppose we know them, but sometimes we don't. And we are all egocentric. So we think everybody thinks the way we think. Everybody sees the world the way we see the world. and everybody's going to be motivated the same way we feel motivated, but that's not real. So ask them the way they ask them, because people, we don't have thousands of motivation tendencies. We are motivated for people, we are motivated for goals, results, we are motivated for processes. So try to know your people as much as you can. So the much you know them, the much you are going to find the ways to motivate them. Another way of motivate the people is setting concrete goals, daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, goals that they can achieve, goals relevant for the department, but challenging goals. Because if you don't set challenging goals, they are going to get bored. And if you set too high, too challenging goals, they are going to feel frustrated. So go with them and try to share the goals and to negotiate their goals with them, and try to go 2 points extra for the goal you set with them. Having concrete goals, clear and negotiated and shared goals, help us to
have a sense of purpose.
And this is another important, very important thing, Jorge, to help them to find a purpose. Their daily work make a better world, because sometimes they will be motivated because of the money they earn, that's wonderful, but maybe they need something else, not only the money, because when you are saying, when the sales are not coming and the market is tough and it's not helping us to find
the way we have been right now.
Where we are now, it's important to have a highly purpose. What's your purpose in life, and how your daily work helps you to get in touch with your purpose. And for people who sell houses, or to help sell houses, it's a wonderful it's a wonderful purpose. I remember my father, who passed away 4 years ago, he used to be a real estate agent, and he was so happy for his work, because helping a family to find the perfect place to live, and the perfect place where they are going to have the most important moments in their life, it's a so energetic purpose, and helping people to share their properties, with sharing this so important moment in our life, because we have to say goodbye to the place where we have been so happy, and we had so many memories for that place, and we are attached, and you are the person who are helping them to make a transition, to sell the property or to buy the property. So all of you, all of your team is going to be part of this special moment in so many people, so many families' lives. So it's very easy to find a purpose higher than what you do every day, that helps you. Well, maybe I didn't do the perfect sale today, but I accompany, I was with these people or with these families, helping them in this transition.
That's the kind of thing that I'm sure people need to hear, people needs to know now. But one thing that we are now facing is that we are facing again a change. We suffer a change a change in which we require more motivation, more psychology, sorry, as you said. Now we face a new challenge and a new change, which is we're going back to our offices. We're going back to what we used to call normality. And sometimes we just don't want to. Sometimes house is very comfortable. I'm afraid to go out. Sometimes I'm anxious to go outside. And the market is recovering, which also makes us anxious because I don't know what to do. I don't know how will this develop. Maybe it won't go further. Maybe yes, maybe no. So also now as team leaders and as workers, how do we deal with this new change? Not home, but back to the office, back to what we used to call normality. How can we deal with this?
Thank you for the question. Crisis, Jorge, is the new normality. Well, you are too young, but for the people like me in my age, I'm in my early 50s, we have survived several crises. I remember when I was little, we had the 82 crisis here in Spain, then we had the 92 crisis, then we have the 2008 crisis, and now we have another crisis. You have to mix it with your 30 crisis, your 40 crisis, your 50 crisis. So crisis is the new normality, and we have to face it. We have to realize that change is the new normality. And how can we motivate people to come back to the office? At first, when we started working at home, I felt really proud of all our teams, not only INFOVA teams, but all the teams we work with, that they really change their mindset and they really get adapted to start working at home. Some of them were missing the time in the office, missing the social relationship.
It's true because I asked you as a formator, but also I can ask you as the CEO of a company.
Yeah, of course. So they were missing to get in touch with other people. But now that we have the opportunity to come back to the office, nobody wants to. Well, not nobody. All the people who are motivated by people, all the social people who needs like me, the energy for creativity and for developing all my talent. I need people around. For us, it's easier to come back to the office, but for all the people who are just focused on results or are just focused on processes, it's being very easy. So for us managers, we have to find out how to make the experience in the office really motivated. And you have to find the ways that they are not going to find at home. For example, we in our office, we have started, of course, asking voluntarily to our people to come 2 days per week, Thursdays and Tuesdays, to come to the office. And we have set all our meetings in presential. All the creative processes are in presential. We are not longer doing meetings online. So if you want to have the information, if you want to really know what's happening between us in the office, you have to come. We also it's like in learning. I think if you learn now, for example, we have a tool, we call it the accelerator. We have a tool where we have all the knowledge we have learned in all those 24 years. about how to deal with feedback, how to deal with conflict, how to deal with motivation, how to communicate. All this knowledge, it's in a kind of web with the tool where we have all this information. So when we have training, we ask the people to see the videos and to get into the information by the videos, but we have the experience all together. So it's the same in the office. Whatever you have to do alone, do it alone in your home, but all the processes, all the experience you have to have in the office, had it in the office, set in the office, and try to find experiences where people want to be part of, because it's not rational but emotional experience. We found out that how do you say, the sentimiento de pertenencia,
the feeling of the feeling of belonging.
The feeling of belonging, when we are all apart in our homes, had decreased a lot. The personal belongings. We all have our personal beliefs about everything. Our prejudices, the things we see things. When we work together, we have a common beliefs. We set a beliefs of a company or a department, as long as we don't share those informal moments, we don't share those coffees, we don't share this. Nothing important to do, or this how do you say, shortcut conversations.
That cocoons that sometimes develop within the company that makes you feel that you're part of something.
That's it. If you are, it's very difficult, not only for us, but for all the companies we work with. They found out that it's very difficult for them to keep this sense of belonging in the full position. So the way it's being all together again, for some days, I think we have to mix and to find out the best of both worlds, like Hannah Montana, find the best of both worlds, and find the best part of working at home, but the best part of being together. And if you want them to come back to the office, you have to be a role model, you have to inspire them, and you have to help them to find the reason why they should be, they should do the effort to be in the office again.
You have to motivate to change back to what we used to be.
Yeah, and first of all, there's the point. If you are hiring, if you are finding new people, remember that attitude is the most important. I remember when people used to ask me, what do I need to work in INFOVA? And I used to tell them, I need you to be a owner of your own motivation and a good person, because all the rest, you can learn it. I'm going to teach you all the leadership stuff, all the team building stuff, but I can't help you I can motivate you. You have I can create the conditions, but you have to choose, and you have to have the attitude, and you have to be a good person, because these things I can teach you. So the rest I can. So if you're going to hire, you have to have a lot of hours of conversation and to find out if there's the light inside them, if there's the energy inside them. Because if there's not, at the first crisis, at the first problem, and you are going to find a lot of problems in this new world, their motivation is going to decrease.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have the time to stay one by one helping them to motivate. So they have to have the energy, and you have to sometimes blow this flame, because maybe the flame decreases, but the flame must be there. If the flame is not there, if you blow or you do whatever you do. So remember, when you are hiring, you need to hire the attitude, and then help them to keep the attitude.
Now, there's a lot I could ask you, but I will ask you something for like a final question, and something that sure our listeners and our viewers will find important to know. That is, how do we prevent ourselves from, not how we prepare for situations like this crisis. This was something that I hope it never happen again, but how we prepare ourselves not to get demotivated and not to get our teams demotivated. How is the preventions and the tool needed for a team of a selling team to be prepared for some future circumstance? God knows what, maybe another COVID, let's hope not, but what we can build already in order to prevent the future situations that might arise.
I could be talking about this item for hours and hours. How to prevent? First, let's stop and have a reflection of what have we learned about us, about our team, about our work, about our company, of our department. What have we learned in all the pandemic, so we don't commit the same mistakes? That's the first point. Second, be a watcher of your thoughts. Be a guardian of your thoughts. Your thoughts are going to make you go down on your motivation. It's like an elevator. Your motivation is going to the fourth floor, or it's going to the basement, and you press the buttons. It's you, it's your thoughts who motivates, who press the buttons. So be a guardian of your thoughts, and remember your team that there are some thoughts that help you to be motivated, and some thoughts that lose your motivation. And remember that nobody drowns because you fell from the boat into the water. You drown because you stay too much time under the water. So sometimes you're going to feel demotivated, and it's normal because shit happens. So you're going to be demotivated. So remember that you can't press your own buttons, and remember what buttons you have to press to make you feel, to make you swim up to the air again. So first of all, stop and learn about you. Then remember what things helps you in your motivation, and whenever you feel demotivated, just press the button you have to be motivated again. And remember that you motivate yourself as a self-saver. You don't motivate yourself because of no one. It's your best choice.
Yeah, it's up to you.
It's up to you, and it's your best choice. Remember that.
So, Irene, this has been a fantastic meeting. For our viewers and our listeners, we will include INFOVA's webpage. It will be in our description. You will be able to find more information about these topics and master classes given by Irene and other professionals. Irene, it has been a pleasure to be with you. I hope we can speak more in the future about these topics, and to have you with us in Dardingli interviews. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jorge, for this opportunity. I love to talk about motivation. So whenever you want to have another conversation about these subjects, you can count on me.
I'm sure we will have you soon, speaking not only about motivation, but about all the topics INFOVA covers. There are plenty, and I hope our viewers decide to take a look into your website. As I said, link in the description. Thank you very much, Irene.
If you ever feel demotivated, just give me a call.
I will. Thank you very much, Irene. Muchísimas gracias. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Are you enjoying Dardingli's interviews? If you have any suggestions, questions or requests, you can contact us through our social media or at dardingli.com. Dardingli, the biggest Maltese property platform for owners and agencies. See you at the next program. Hello, and welcome to Dardingli's interview.